Hey guys, my name is Trent and I've been living, traveling, and gaming out of a camper van for almost 7 years now. And we just finished up my third camper van that I'll be living in. And today I'm gonna finally give you guys a tour of this thing. And I'm calling this the ultimate off-roading gaming camper van for a reason, because on the inside is a fully off-grid gaming setup that I can take anywhere I want with me. And I am super excited to show you guys what this thing looks like on the inside. So without further ado, let's get to the tour. Oh. Well guys, welcome to the nightmare. Nifty, right? I can control the lights on my phone here. Super sick. But I called this van the nightmare because building out this van was an absolute nightmare. There's a lot of moving parts here, and just about everything that could go wrong with this build went wrong. But here we are 8 months later, and it's finally complete and livable. Now on that note though, I will say, even though it is complete, it's not really finished. There are quite a few things that I want and need to do to this van still to make it 100% complete, but overall it's live-in ready. But this camper setup was built into a 2022 4x4 Mercedes Sprinter van, and this is the 170-inch wheelbase model, so it's super long, as you can tell. I think I have about 8 feet of kitchen space, which is absolutely insane. Now, the downside of going with a Mercedes Sprinter van is the fact that they are a lot more narrow than my previous van builds. So we did have to sacrifice quite a bit when it came to layout and design of this van. And we'll talk about all that throughout this tour, but I think for now, let's start in the back of the van and work our way up. We'll go to the kitchen, go to the driver's area, talk about the gaming setup, do the outside tour, and I'll even show you guys where my toilet is at the end of the video if you guys are curious. So let's head back to the bedroom. Oh. So welcome to the bedroom. Golly. Oh. I'm good, I swear. Okay, welcome to the bedroom, guys, of the van. This is a full-size bed, and it works for me. I'm a single dude. I live in here by myself, and this is plenty of room for both me and my pup, Millie. However, it is pretty high off the ground, so we built these really cool stairs in the van for both me and Millie to get up, but really for Millie. These are really cool. I had to add some grip tape on here so she wouldn't slip and slide around as she climbs up. But not only are they just stairs, but they're also storage, and I store my shoes and stuff in here, and then down below is a drawer where I store a bunch of camera gear. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, this is the bedroom, and I'm about 5'10", and I can lay in this bed with plenty of room to spare. I have bump outs installed on both the passenger and the driver's side of the van, so I think a person who's about 6 foot something could probably lay here just fine. I don't know, I love this space. It's really cozy. However, I will say, I don't have lights in the bedroom yet. They're there, but I just don't have a switch installed yet. One of the many things that I need to do to make this van 100% complete. But we got lights, and I got an AC unit installed. This is the Nomadic Innovations 48 volt AC unit, and this thing pumps some cold, crispy air, which is going to be much needed in the summertime, especially since this van is black. It absorbs a lot of heat, so whenever we're in warmer climates, just pop that bad boy on and I can run this thing pretty much indefinitely with my power setup, which we'll talk about later. And I've also got this nifty little fan that I installed in my last van. This thing is really awesome. I can move it, turn it wherever I usually have it blowing on my face at night because I sleep pretty hot. And then I have this little window back here, excuse me, Millie, that I can open and let some fresh air in. So this, along with my fan up front, pulling the air inside, is fresh air in the bedroom with the fan blowing on my face, and we sleep nice and comfy, don't we, Millie? Up here is where I store all of my clothes. Just like my last van, I got 2 areas to store a bunch of clothes. Up here is all my toiletries and stuff. I'm still working on filling this up. I just moved into this thing like a week ago, so all of these cabinets are pretty empty, including my closet. I have a few things in here, but this is where I store all of my winter coats. Down here is where I can see my water tank and also store dirty laundry and stuff. Nothing too crazy, but as you can tell right here, if you guys have been following my channel for quite some time, in my last van, I had Millie's bedroom under my bed, and she loved that area. She stayed in there quite a bit. However, as I said at the beginning of this video, we had to sacrifice a lot with this van because it's so narrow. We couldn't find a place to put this fridge, considering the way things worked out with the gaming setup and the kitchen area. So we had to move it right here under my bed. This is the Dometic fridge. I forget which model this is, but I'll have links to everything that I've used in this van, including the fridge, my gaming PC parts, all the lights I use, the batteries, etc., in the description below. So make sure you guys go check that out. Those will all be affiliate links, and if you guys use those links to purchase for your van builds, it'll be supporting me in my channel, which will be greatly appreciated. All right, moving on to the kitchen, and as I said before, this is a massive kitchen. I think we have from the closet to the end of this area right here, that's about 8 feet of length. There's a lot of apartments out in the world that don't even have a kitchen this big. And it's so big, in fact, that I have way too much storage to the point where this is just completely empty. I don't even know what to put in there. I'm actually gonna turn this on real quick. Hallway lights, much brighter in here. But yeah, back here, we've got a sink. You can't have a kitchen without a sink. And we got one of those, and it's great. However, this sink is a little bit smaller than my last one. I think this is a 15-inch sink, but it works pretty well. I don't even notice that it's smaller. Maybe it's some weird optical illusion, but it works out great. And if you look right here, that's my 1 million subscriber plaque here on YouTube. You know, I've been waiting to put that sucker up for a long time. And I figured with this being the new van, new era of my life, let's throw that up, and I think it looks pretty great. But up under the sink, as you can tell, we've got a 3-tier drawer system. Psych, no we don't. We got a door. And this is the doorway to under the sink, where I store Millie's food, a fire extinguisher, and some other stuff. I can even see my water tank down there. Over here, we've got a 3-tier drawer system. Psych, no we don't. We've got a 1-tier drawer system with a door under that. This is where I store my propane tank. It's a 10-pound propane tank, so it's a lot smaller than my last one. Are you seeing a theme here, guys? And we had to go smaller with this propane tank because there's just no room to store a 20-pound one. But a 10-pound one fits just fine under there, and that propane obviously goes to my propane stove, which also is an oven. We love ovens in vans. We love baking some brownies, some baked goods, and this is perfect for that. This nice little Dometic oven setup. It's great, and it looks cool. You wanna know why it looks cool? Check out this grate here. You see these angles? These sharp angles? Does it look familiar at all? Does it look familiar at all? Yeah, exactly. That was the whole reason I went with this oven, because the grate looked cool and it matched the design of the countertops that we went with. And I don't know, I just like that theme of the van, these angular designs. Like it matches the computer case, the countertop, and it just looks sick. And the reason why we actually did this is not just because it looks cool, but it's actually to give me more room for my gaming chair to slide out. It's also really symmetrical, and I love it. It's very satisfying to the eye. Oh yeah, also, we've got these cool pull-outs where I store a bunch of spices, dry foods. Still don't have this filled up yet. And then over here by the sink, towels, cleaning supplies. I love this tiered setup. This has been the coolest addition to the van so far. It makes it super easy. If I'm like doing stuff in the sink, I need something real quick. Oh, towel, boom, got it. And then when I'm prepping for dinner, you know, pull out some utensils, whatever. Oh, need a quick spice? Oh, shoot, boom. You know what I'm saying? It's like a Swiss Army knife kitchen, and it's awesome. Now, if you're looking at all this cabinetry and you're admiring its beauty, well, that's because my brother did all the cabinets here in this van, and huge shout out to him. Without his craftsmanship, part of this van build, this van would not look the way that it does, because he is the true talent here. The dude knows how to build a cabinet, and I'm super thankful for his help along this build process. He has made this van build go so much smoother, even though it has been a bit of a nightmare. Without him, it would have been even worse, and I probably would have given up on this build 3 months in. So huge shout out to Brandon. You guys should show him some love in the comments down below and let him know what you guys think of all the cabinets here in the van. Now, in my previous van, I had this like black partition on the wall right here that a lot of people thought was a coffee machine, but it wasn't. It was actually just there to hide some wires back there. And we didn't put it in this van because we didn't need it, and it would have taken up a ton of my counter space, so we did away with it. But the idea of a coffee maker in a van did sound nice, so that's what I got. And I have the electrical system to be able to power this now. So in the mornings when I wake up and want a fresh cup of joe, I just grab my cozy mug, TrentTheTraveler.com, get yours now. Throw this right here, press that button, and boom. And after it's done brewing, I can just sit in my dining room at my dining table right here, enjoy my coffee, look out the sliding door at the beautiful mountain views or the spooky forest. And if it's a nice chilly evening like tonight, this little box down here, that's my diesel heater. And this thing pumps. It's connected straight to the diesel tank of the van, so it slurps just off of that. I don't have to have a separate tank for it like I did in my last van. I even have an app on my phone that I can control it with and have this thing running just about all night long because it uses little to no power and little to no fuel to heat up this place. And as you can tell, these seats are on a swivel, which is really nice, so I can just do this whole number right here. And I got a nice view of my gaming setup with the mountains off in the background. And then down here is a nice cozy dog bed for Millie. This is temporary right here. I want to build her a much better setup right here, something that's more level because this is a bit of an incline. But yeah, she likes laying here. But when I'm driving, I actually turn the passenger seat around, and I have this piece of wood that goes across the passenger seat so she can lay up here. She's been loving that a lot, just being up next to me while I'm driving and being able to see outside the passenger window has been nice for her. So even though we had to sacrifice her physical bedroom, we definitely have a good comfy space for Millie. And up here is this cute little shelf with a fake plant, you know, to liven up the space a little bit. Then I have a control panel for all of my exterior lighting. Got a huge LED bar on the front, driver's side outdoor light. This is to my back doors. And then over here, I have my passenger side light. Boom! Lights up the campsite. If I hear a spooky noise outside, just flip this bad boy on real quick. Take a gander, make sure the coast is clear. It's pretty awesome. And then all these other lights are for the rest of the van. I actually like this lighting way better. These lights are a little harsh, but they're here just in case I need something bright. But I don't usually use those. And then I've got this really cool shelf here. This is a work in progress. I love plants, but having live plants in a van is impossible for me. So I've got these nice little fake plants that drape over with some fake candles and this cool little chest up here to dress up this spot, and also this light. Next up is the moment you guys have all been waiting for. The gaming station. And this is the ultimate gaming station. I mean, as you can tell, this monitor and desk area in general is just massive. And shout out to ROG. They sponsored this whole gaming area of the van, which I am so thankful for. They've been a sponsor of the channel for quite some time. Shout out to them. Without them, this setup wouldn't exist. And I have a fully custom built PC built into the desk. We have a whole build video about all of this, and you guys can go watch it right here if you guys want to know specific technical specs of this build. I went with the Height Y70 Touch Infinite case because, I mean, it just looks freaking sick, especially with this angled monitor. It's a touchscreen monitor too. And this is a 49-inch ultra wide monitor. And the reason I went with this is because I originally wanted a multiple monitor setup, but having that inside this van with a curved wall, it just didn't work. It didn't look good. So we went with the curved monitor, and I'm stoked that we did because this basically doubles as a, you know, multiple monitor setup, especially with Windows 11. I can just have one window there, another window there. It's pretty freaking awesome. And I've got so much room. I actually need a mouse pad very, very desperately, because as you can tell, that's not a wonderful sound. But I've got so much real estate for doing some 180 no scopes in Fortnite, you know what I'm saying? And gaming on this monitor is just so immersive. I feel like I'm in the game. It's incredible. And I can play just about any game I want off of this system at ultra graphics, no problem. And the fact that I can take this setup anywhere and have a view like this, you know, right past the monitor is just crazy. But you want to know what's even crazier about this gaming setup? That's right, my friends. This is a standing desk. Whenever I've been driving all day, because sometimes I drive for like 8 hours at a time, the last thing I want to do is come and sit down and game or edit videos. I would much rather stand. So we built a standing desk setup into this van, and now I can stand and do work, live stream if I want to, play games, and it's freaking sweet. I've been wanting a standing desk in my van for far too long, and it's finally here. And the fact that I can put the chair up under the desk while I stand and work to, you know, keep the real estate of the hallway going, it's so nice. And I'm just blown away that we made this work. Like, this has been a dream of mine for so long, and with a lot of time and effort trying to design this van to the most practical way to be able to have this work the way that it does, just is crazy. And I'm so thankful. This is the setup I've been wanting all of my life, and here it is. But I think after this tour, me and Christian are gonna boot up a spooky horror game and game into the night, and maybe even film and make a video out of that so I can post it on my second channel, which is my gaming channel, which if you guys aren't following, you definitely should. It's Trent the Traveler 2 or Vanlife Gamer. Go check it out. Got tons of gaming videos over there that you're not gonna wanna miss. They're fun. But as you could probably tell, this is a really heavy monitor. And considering this is an off-roading 4x4 van, I am going to be taking this van on some pretty rough roads. So I wanted to make sure that this monitor didn't just swing all around all willy-nilly while I'm driving. So I actually implemented in this nifty little system. Believe it or not, but this does actually really work well. I just have this Velcro strap around the arm of the mount and this little ring screwed into the wall that I just loop through like this, tighten it, go around a couple times, boom. And that ain't going anywhere. However, it does kind of swivel like this. So to combat that, I've got this other little Velcro strap that I go around the arm just like so. Boom, just like that. And now it doesn't go anywhere. It's actually a really neat system, and so far it hasn't failed me yet. Let's hope it stays that way. And I just keep this nifty little Velcro piece in my junk drawer. And then up under this is my gaming laptop storage. check this out. I have this nifty little spot where I can store my ROG Strix Scar 18 laptop. This is an 18-inch gaming laptop. This thing is crazy. And it fits right in this little nook here. And then this area right here is also where I store my headphones, and my keyboard and mouse goes in here while I'm driving so it doesn't slide all over the place. And we put some nice little red felt on the walls to make sure all my stuff doesn't get scratched up. And I love this little drawer. Brennan did a really good job at building all that out. And then up under the gaming computer is another drawer, which looks really cool because it has the angular design of the PC. It's another junk drawer, baby. It ain't a gaming setup if you don't have at least one, possibly two junk drawers, and I'm equipped with two. Now, moving back over to the PC case, I want to talk about something real quick. Now, this case is built into the desk, but really we just took a PC case, put it onto a desk, and we screwed it to the desk. We've got several screws going into the bottom of the case, and then also on the sides, which really secure this thing. This thing is not going anywhere. I will say though, I do not yet have a support for my GPU. It does sag quite a bit, and it does wobble quite a bit right now, but I do plan to have something in line to keep it from sagging so much, and hopefully I'll figure that out sooner or later. I'm hoping to get like something 3D printed. And another predicament about having my PC right here, right in the walkway, is the fact that it can possibly get damaged, especially since this is glass. Even on rough roads, I'm actually worried about it shattering if I hit a huge bump. And whether or not that happens, you guys will just have to stay tuned and find out. So make sure you guys are subscribed for all the epic adventures that we're about to go on in this van. But ultimately, I'm gonna do my best to take care of this thing. I do wanna have some sort of cover made for the case itself, something with a nice cushion to put on this while I'm not using it so I don't accidentally scratch it up or something like that. But that's later down the line. And even though this PC is built into the desk, it actually is ventilated pretty well. As you can tell, I have fans on the top of the PC, and I have fans on this side of the PC, which bring in a ton of air. I've got a vent up under my desk with a cutout of my logo that works as airflow for the PC, but I've also got this nifty compartment right here. As you can tell, this is my Trent the Traveler logo, which was 3D printed by a friend. And this is a magnetic covering that comes right off. And I can access the back of my PC, plug in external solid state drives for whenever I'm doing work on those, replace a dongle or something, or just work on the PC in general. It's pretty freaking nifty, and I love that addition. It's pretty cool. Now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking too, this is a terrible spot for a gaming PC to be. I mean, not only is it in a van that's going to be moving a ton, all the vibrations are going to destroy the components, but it's also right in a doorway that doesn't have the best covering. So when it starts raining, water might come in and just destroy the PC. I don't know yet. We've only had one very light rainy day and it wasn't too bad, but if it's a rainstorm and the rain is coming in this way, to be honest, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So again, make sure you're subscribed to find out to see what happens. All right, moving on to the exterior of the van. And this van looks freaking sweet. Now, as I said, there are quite a few things that I still want to do to this van. One of the many things that I really want to do to this van is lift it. I want to put a 2-inch lift kit on this. It's already sitting up pretty high, so we had to install this little runner board so I can step in without breaking my ankle, step in and out, because I actually have fallen out of the van before, and this van is a lot higher than my last one, so if I fell out of this one, it might be a bad day. And it might be even worse whenever I put a 2-inch lift on this thing. Who knows? We'll find out. But this thing looks freaking sweet. It looks exactly how I planned it to. I originally bought this van and it was like this muted grayish blue color that I hated. Everybody has that color on their Sprinter van, but I wanted it matte black. So I got it wrapped in matte black and I love the way this looks. I will say though, it does get really dirty really quickly and it does scratch very easily. So was it a good idea? No, but does it look cool? Absolutely. So shout out to the wrap compound in Charlotte, North Carolina. They hooked me up with this wrap. They did a killer job, and they even put this logo on for me. And yeah, man, it just looks really freaking sick. Now, fun fact about this van, I did buy it used. However, it only had 300 miles on it. It was mechanically sound, and it was a great deal, so I scooped it right up. And the greatest part about this van is there was a lot done to it already, including a lot of the inside. If you guys watched my van build series, it started out with walls, flooring, a fan, a ceiling, but I ripped all that out because I wanted to make it my own. However, what I did keep is the exterior modifications. And this van actually came with this front end bumper already installed, which I'm super thankful for because these are not fun to install, but this thing is sick. It looks mean, it's practical. It's got these awesome LED bars on the front. It's even got a winch installed, which is great. It'll help me get out of sticky situations if I get stuck. I can also pull my friends out if they need. And the van also came with these really great off-roading tires from Ridge Grappler and the Black Rhino wheels. It's ready to go off-roading and it looks great. And I actually put on these really cool wheel well flares. I think that's what these are called. It was so hard to find some really good looking wheel well flares, but I found these online and I actually had to cut these down to size because they're not meant to mount here with this front end bumper. And I'm really stoked about how that came out. I think this adds a lot of, I don't know, grit to the van. It makes it look a little more mean. And the problem with these tires though, is the fact that they're really big. They're actually oversized for this wheel well. So we had to install these Mondo mud guards so these wheels would fit in here, because before I installed this, these wheels were grinding up on the chassis. But installing the Mondo mud flaps solved that issue. So not only does it look cool, it's practical, which we love. All right, moving on to the back of the van. Oh, you know what I didn't mention? So another cool feature about this van is, as you can see, these lights up here light up the campsite. They're mounted on a roof rack by Tanner Rack. They actually provided this rack for the van build, so huge shout out to them. They make some really awesome roof racks. And this one in particular is really great because it's got these partitions that sit over my AC unit and my fan, which allow me to add more solar up on my roof, which has been a huge blessing because my battery bank is pretty massive. So having enough solar panels to fuel that battery bank was crucial. So huge shout out to them, Tanner Rack, go check them out. But also my roof rack is home to my 360-degree night vision security system. I have night vision cameras mounted on every end of the van to monitor the exterior because I'm a bit worried about me and Millie's safety in this van, especially with a big logo on the side there. So my security system will be running 24/7. From there, I can wirelessly remote into it. But yeah, those things are great. And eventually I'll have a nice little monitor up on my dash later down the road. I haven't installed that yet, but it'll get there. But anyway, this is the back of the van. And as you can tell, I have a nice big metal box installed on my back doors. This is actually where I'm keeping all of my camping gear, my firewood, my shore power plug, my water hose to fill up on water. Pretty nifty little box, adds a lot of extra storage space in the van since I did have to sacrifice quite a bit. Eventually, I am going to have a spare tire right here and a mountain bike mounted on the top of this. I actually have all of that, just haven't installed it yet. And then as I open, I will say, the problem with this box back here is getting to the back handle to open this door is a little inconvenient, but can't have everything, you know? But this here is the garage of the van. It's where I house all of my plumbing on this side and my electrical on this side. And everything in the middle is just storage. And I do not have garage lights installed just yet. Can you even see? But yeah, this garage, I store my studio lights just like this back here. It's great for little video shoots like this. Boom. And now you can see the garage, which is a lot cleaner than my last one and a lot more space. And then on this side is my water fill. I have a 35-gallon water tank that sits over my wheel well. And then this is my shower. It's an outdoor shower and it is heated. I do have a electric water heater back here. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to use it yet because it's not fully ready, but it's there. And hopefully I'll have that ready by the winter time. Now, the electrical side of the van build is something that I am personally really proud of. I originally was going to do a 12-volt off-grid electrical system in this van, but I wanted to do something crazy and new, so I decided to do a 48-volt off-grid electrical system. And by off-grid, I mean literally everything in this van, including the gaming PC, the fridge, the lights, the air conditioning unit. My heater is all powered by the sun. I have about 1,000 watts of solar panels mounted on the roof rack of this van, which harnesses the energy from the sun and then feeds it down into a battery bank, which is up under my bed here. And that battery bank is a 48-volt battery bank with a capacity of about 270 amp hours at 48 volts. So it's a pretty large battery bank. And the reason I went with a 48-volt system is because it's so much more efficient than a 12-volt system, which is typically what people put in their camper vans and RVs. I explain all of that in my electrical build portion of my build series, which you guys can watch right here. Go check that out for a more informative dialogue about all this. But essentially, this system is beefy and it's enough to power everything in this van for several days at a time without needing to recharge up. Well, there you have it, guys. Van build number 3 is in the books. So let me know what you guys think about the van build so far. Let me know what you guys love. Let me know what you hate. What would you change? What would you do differently? Down in the comments below. But yeah, there you have it, guys. Van Tour 3.0 is over. Don't know how to sign this off, but I do have to pee. So let me show you guys where the toilet is. It's right there. I don't need a toilet. It's the woods, baby. Mother Nature. Also public restrooms. There's tons of public restrooms in the States. So, you know, it's a lot easier to use the bathroom out there in the real world. Also showers. I shower at Planet Fitness, but I don't want to shower in the van, right?